What is up, Raider Nation? Welcome back to the LV Raider 10 YouTube channel. Today is preview day, so that means we're gonna go ahead and look at the preview between the Raiders and the Steelers this upcoming Sunday, and let's go ahead and get into it.
Pittsburgh Steelers off to Vegas for week 6, thought they were going to win big, and then all of a sudden the dreaded 7-out was called.
He throws it in the end zone. It's a touchdown to Jalen Tolbert.
Yeah, the Steelers lost a tough one last week against the Cowboys. They were right there the whole game. It's kind of hard to gauge the Steelers. We all know that they have a really good defense. That's given. But their offense, I'm not sure if it's real or not. I don't know. But the Raiders defense took another hit this weekend with Christian Wilkins being ruled out for the rest of the year with a foot injury. So that's another starter down that the Raiders have headed into this week. And man, we have to overcome some absolute adversity for the rest of this year if we want to be able to be any way competitive.
Goodness gracious me.
Not like the Raiders fared any better at the NFL's proverbial craps table last week, though.
Minshew keeps it, rolls to the left, lobs near side for Bowers, picked off at the goal line. It's a 100-yard pick six for Denver.
So both teams hoping to rebound. Both quarterbacks come in cold to cold-ish. Gardner Minshew trying.
Talking about quarterbacks, I'm not sure if they're going to touch on it here, but Coach AP said that Aiden O'Connell is actually going to get the start this weekend against the Steelers. And then I've seen some reports that Justin Fields was injured. I'm not completely sure about that, but Russell Wilson was doing well on coming back from his injury, and he has yet to start a game. So they might be willing to start Russell Wilson. So this might look like a Wilson versus Aiden O'Connell on the quarterbacks for each team. That changes this game completely. Wilson has not started a game yet, so who's to see what he would look like? He looked really bad in his last couple of games in Denver. And then Aiden O'Connell looked okay, obviously a turnover last week, but like we said also in review last week, every time that he's been on the field, he's led the Raiders to an offensive scoring drive. It's a small sample size, but it's still positive nonetheless.
To forget a game that saw him through 2 interceptions, just 137 yards. Aiden O'Connell spelled him again. No touchdowns, an interception, low 50s rate between the two.
3-step drop, looks left, throws over the middle, it's batted up in the air, and that's picked off.
Pittsburgh's passing offense didn't involve any INTs, just didn't involve many yards either. Justin Fields, just 131 of them, only 4.9 yards per attempt. He did at least throw 2 TD passes, finished with a 90-plus rate.
Left. Fields back to pass. Cowboys rushing 5. Fires. Has Connor Hayward. And Hayward is into the end zone for the touchdown.
Raiders, though, not up against any hot pass catchers. George Pickens just 26 yards, 7 targets last week. Tight end Pat Freiermuth 22 yards, at least had one of the touchdowns.
Little quick shovel pass, and Freiermuth is in for the touchdown for the Steelers.
Raiders, on the other hand, have a couple guys who had good week 5s. Brock Bowers looks legit. 97 yards and a TD. Comes in off his best career game.
Brock Bowers' first career NFL touchdown is a 57-yard jump ball.
And Jacoby Myers, 72 yards, 6 catches.
Minshew towards the back of the end zone. He avoids the rush. He throws downfield. And it's caught at the 22. What a grab by Myers.
The Pittsburgh secondary they face picked off Dak Prescott twice. Couldn't stop him when it mattered, though. Gave up 2 TDs plus 350-plus yards.
Throws it to an open man in the end zone.
Like I said, the Pittsburgh Steelers defense is very good. They obviously, as you can see here, they forced Dak Prescott into 2 interceptions. And with our turnover troubles, that's going to be a huge key of this game. We cannot turn the ball over. We have to control this clock. This Pittsburgh Steelers defense is really good.
Touchdown Cowboys.
Fields, though, is up against a Vegas defense that gave up 2 touchdowns to Bo Nix. No interceptions, a rating near 120.
Swings it out to the right to his man McLaughlin at the 10. He jumps from the 5. Touchdown Denver.
He will at least have to worry about Mad Max. He came back and he signed on the dotted line twice.
Raiders coming with pressure. Nix wrapped up and can't get away. Max Crosby. It's another Raiders sack.
Yeah, I think Max Crosby's going to have a big game. Believe the Steelers' offensive line isn't very good. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure they're not that good. And Max Crosby looked exactly like Max Crosby last week against the Broncos. So I think he'll have a big game. But besides that, I think they're going to touch on here right here. Losing Christian Wilkins is pretty big. Our defensive tackles are not, I mean, they're okay, but Christian Wilkins is a huge loss nonetheless. I think if Justin Fields starts, the running factor that he provides is going to be a problem. It just gives that little edge over the Raiders that the Raiders have to prepare for. They faced Lamar Jackson in week 2 and they kind of stymied his running, but that was with a full and healthy defense. And as you know now, we are down a lot of guys. So I think Justin Fields, his running ability might be an X factor in this game.
Features pass rushing elite TJ Watt on the other side. He dropped Dak 1.5 times.
Give half a sack to TJ Watt. That is career sack number 100 for him.
Rush defense, Steelers front gave up 4.4 a carry to Rico Dowdle last week. Raiders rush attack, almost non-existent versus Denver, save one 40-yard run by Amir Abdullah.
Abdullah out to the right midfield. 40, 35, 30, and the Broncos.
Steelers run game, not much to report on either week 5. Najee Harris 3 yards per carry. Fields always a threat. Steelers on a 2-game losing streak. Raiders 1 game under 500. This matchup has serious history. Raiders hold a 17-15 advantage. Their meetings in the 70s in the playoffs, the stuff of legend. But do you remember their most recent postseason meeting? Cliff Stout had taken over for Terry Bradshaw. Franco Harris was still in the mix. Raiders were in LA, Jim Plunkett at QB, Marcus Allen, 121 yards, 2 scores, 1982, LA wins 38-10. They were pretty good that year, I think.
Yeah, as everybody knows, the Raiders and Steelers have a huge history going back to the 70s when they were both really good teams. Let's see here. Yeah, it looks like a lot of people are picking the Steelers, of course. Let's see what E at home thinks. 23-17 Steelers. It's really hard to kind of gauge this game. The Steelers and the Raiders offense aren't insanely good high production offenses right now, but the Steelers defense, I think, gives them that edge because they are an elite defense. I do think the Raiders end up falling this week. But if Russell Wilson starts at quarterback, I think that kind of changes the game a lot. Obviously, the Raiders have to prepare for both quarterbacks because I know the reports right now are essentially they don't know exactly who's going to start at quarterback. But as far as the Raiders quarterback, starting Aiden O'Connell, I don't think it could get much worse. I think O'Connell and Minshew are at least around the same type of quarterback. Minshew is a little bit better making plays, but O'Connell, I think, probably has a better arm and is better in passing in general. Let's hope that we can find some O'Connell magic. You know, let's see if he finds something to upstart this offense. Hopefully we can get our running game going. But I think just that Steelers defense is too good with TJ Watt, Minkah Fitzpatrick, and a whole bunch of other guys on that team. But that'll do it for this preview, you guys. Let me know down in the comments below, who do you think wins this game? Who do you think starts the game for the Steelers as well? Because that is also very big so far. And do you think Aiden O'Connell is the plan moving forward for the rest of the season, or do you want to continue to see Gardner Minshew? I guess we're going to have to see after this game. I believe in Aiden O'Connell. I think this might not be his best game because he hasn't really found a groove yet. He hasn't started very many games. He hasn't played very much. So I don't think this game is going to be it. But once he starts getting more starts under his belt, and once he starts getting into a groove and connecting with more receivers, I think that we will see a better Aiden O'Connell. But as far as this game, I do have the Raiders actually dropping this one to the Steelers. But who's to see? Obviously, we have Max Crosby, can't really count out the Raiders ever. Just I think we have too many injuries on defense, and our offense isn't very good right now. But thank you, Raider Nation. Leave a like, subscribe, follow me on all of my socials at LVRaider10. Thank you again. And just win, baby.